so this is my pitch, obviously. So my first idea is to do like an animation, like a short animation, because I really enjoyed it last year, because I kind of dabbled in it a little bit last year, but not too much. So I thought I'd try and do a bit of animation this year. And then I noticed that there wasn't a lot of kind of horror animation, that didn't include comedy in it. So I thought I'd try and do like a short horror animation film. So I then researched kind of horror conventions and stuff like that, and how to tell like a narrative, because it's quite important to be able to kind of make the film a little bit scary and stuff. So then I looked back at my old blog last year when we were doing about horror and stuff like that. So that's kind of like narrative theory and so on. So then I researched kind of documentaries that actually, when people were being kidnapped and stuff in real life, as I find like kind of realism a bit more scary than kind of like slashers like Friday the 13th and stuff like that, as I don't find that very scary because it's not realistic at all. I was also inspired by BBC Sherlock's kind of not main antagonist, but the first antagonist, where he's like a taxi driver, and he goes around doing like a little serial killer. And then I started thinking about like, what if it was like a bus full of kids, and what if the bus driver was the main villain of the film, because you would trust him, you know what I mean. So then I started doing like character designs for the animation. As you can see, I'm not a very talented artist and stuff, but I started like doing little notes next to them. But I found it quite difficult to try and like draw the antagonist, because I didn't really know what would be scary in an animation really. So that's them after being kidnapped and stuff. And then I write kind of like their personalities and stuff, because in a lot of slashers, like I said, the teenagers aren't very memorable most of the time, and yeah, I wanted someone to be quite memorable. I then started writing the script. I never wrote a script before, so I found it quite difficult, so I looked on YouTube and stuff with tutorials about it. But overall, I'm quite happy, because I wrote like a few scenes of it, but I still found it quite difficult in the end. So I then did like experiments at college about animation, and I decided that in the end it was a bit too ambitious of a project really, because it took me about 4 hours to do like a couple of second clip of just a simple movement, and with the time frame that I had, I didn't think it was a bit too ambitious for me, I think. So animation's just a hobby for me, so then I started thinking about kind of like what other projects I liked doing last year. And I really liked doing kind of the music video last year, as I really liked the process of it, like trying to find like artists or original songs and stuff like that. So then I started I asked my friend Charlotte, who is a level 3 music student, to ask if she could write an original song, and also star in the music video as well. So then I started researching different music videos. So as you can see here. So I was really kind of influenced by Taylor Swift's style music video, as I really liked the effect of the double exposure in it. And I also experimented with a little bit of double exposure last year, as I was kind of thinking about doing it for my fan major project last year, but I decided not to. And I also was really heavily influenced by Sinead O'Connor's music video, When Nothing Compares to You, as I really liked the headshots and stuff with it. So as you can see there. So I wanted to kind of combine these two effects together to create like an emotional song, because with double exposure you can kind of see inside someone's head. So I think my main plan was to do like the headshots in the TV studio, and then go out for like extra footage and stuff, and do that in 2 different days or something like that really. As for the double exposure, for it to really work, you kind of need like a controlled environment really, because you need to have like a white background and stuff, so I feel like doing the TV studio in there. So that's like one of the double exposure I did last year. So I then remembered that Darren said that we should do something that we're passionate about, and I'm not really passionate about kind of filming or doing music videos. So then I thought about doing photography, as that's really what I enjoy really. So I wanted to kind of experiment a lot more with double exposure, as I think it's got a lot of potential, and I really like the effect of it, as I think it looks surreal. And then last year as well, I kind of briefly researched into kind of mental health and stuff with my last project. And I was thinking if you look inside someone's head, you can kind of see it with double exposure. So I thought it'd be quite interesting to kind of have a look at what it's kind of like in their daily life and stuff. That's like a mood board for mental health. So I then kind of looked at different types of mental health to kind of be able to portray them in an accurate way, as I really don't know what that's like. so then I did like a survey to kind of see kind of people's feedback and stuff like that. I was also inspired by an American photographer called Edward Honecker, who did like a series of photographs in 2015 of self-portraits, kind of portraying his daily life with anxiety and depression, as you can see here. So I'd like to really do this project, as photography is what I'm passionate about, but I also think that with kind of mental health, I know it's got a lot of awareness around it, but I think it'll be really interesting to kind of show and depict people's kind of daily lives in their heads and stuff like that, but with photography. And I also think that I should do like a campaign about it on social media, as a lot of young people use social media. So yeah, that's my pitch.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Which photos?
Well, like the mental health ones.
Have you ever thought about looking at Luther's one as well? The one with the clown, the guy in the clown mask.
I haven't really seen much of these.
Watch Luther.
I've seen like the first few episodes, but I haven't like watched it.
Watch it, it's good.
Yeah, those are great.
So I got these off like Pinterest and stuff, so I find it quite easy to kind of collect photos from there. But I'd like to do something like that, but within like a headshot and with it inside their mind, if that makes sense.
And the next one, there was
The
another.
photographer's example.
Yeah.
Oh, the
photographer
Ed
one was awesome.
Conica.
No, there was more. There was one where there was a guy. That's him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. That was really good.
Yeah. Well, because I don't really know what it's like, so I need to do a lot of research into it and kind of, I think maybe like anonymous interviews with people who suffer with mental health really helped me in my
Is
research.
that a lollipop?
No, that's a balloon.
Is that milk?
I think so. Just really soapy water. I don't know.
They're quite good.
Yeah.
I like those ones a
them.
lot, actually.
Yeah, they're good.
Would you be looking to do something like a variation on stuff like this?
I think I'd be doing like a series of like, so for example, maybe 5 photos of one, maybe depression, one of schizophrenia, eating disorder, bipolar, and so on.
Would it just be a collage of the pictures and like separate?
No, like I would be doing like a headshot, and then I'd go out and take another picture that maybe someone's being sick or someone's binge eating, something like that.
Yeah.
Then in Photoshop or in another kind of editing software, I'll be manipulating those photos together to create like double exposure. So
Oh right.
so they'll just be looking normal, but then they're thinking about doing that to themselves. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I love those ones because it kind of gives the impression of kind of wanting to disappear or
I
kind of
really like that
not
one.
having a face. Yeah,
Yeah, I
really.
like that one
I
a lot.
kind of you can relate to those feelings,
Yeah.
even if you're not something. The ice skater falling or
Yeah.
is an ice skater. Something.
Yeah,
that's
solid.
great.
I'm really pleased you went past the animation because that was going to be a ton of hard work. The
Yeah.
whole thing would have been kind of interesting though, but
Yeah, it's a shame. I would have loved to do it, but with the time scale, there's no chance.
totally.
Yeah.
But this is much more interesting, much more artistic.
Yeah.
Well, it's achievable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Were you thinking about just taking photos of yourself or with
I'll
other
probably be
students?
getting other models to do
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you could always ask them if they ever kind of had anxiety and how did it feel.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it depends because I know quite a few people who've gone through kind of mental health issues, but they do like acting and modelling and stuff, so I might ask them maybe.
Yeah. The only thing that I'm saying is that more time could have been spent on the final idea. The final
Yeah.
idea is there, but you've kind of this has more been about you
When did
arriving
you-
at your final
Yeah.
idea.
Okay. Yeah.
But we grasp it and it's good.
Okay.
When did you get that idea? And is that like just recently?
I've had it for quite a while,
Alright.
but yeah.